To crochet the best easy dish scrubbies. Alrighty, so this is the one that I'm going to be using for the scrubbies in today's tutorial. I will link it down below. You can also use like 3-inch strips of tulle, and I will put a few options again in the description box. This makes it so easy. I cannot recommend this yarn more. You're basically working with tulle, excuse me, but it's so much easier to work with because it's like a strand of yarn. So I could not recommend this or promote this more. I've used it for many years now, and it is like so amazing. But again, I will put a few more options in the description box if you would like to use one of those options as well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull out the middle strand here, and let's get started on our scrubby. Okay, so I'm going to start off, I'm using a size J hook, and the written pattern, and all of the materials that you're going to need are linked down below as well. So just be sure to reference that if needed. We're going to start off this scrubby with a magic circle. So I'm going to make that. You can also do a slip knot and chain 3 and then slip stitch to that first stitch to make a circle. Whatever way it works best for you is perfect. Okay, so I have made my magic ring. I'm going to chain 2. I have the first one from locking that ring, and then I'm going to chain a second one. Now I'm going to place 10 double crochets into this circle. So I'm just going to work 10 double crochets all the way around. Okay, so there are my 10 double crochets. I'm going to pull this strand to close up the ring a little bit more. And then I'm just going to finish off this round by slip stitching to this very first double crochet right here. And now we are ready to start round 2. For round 2, we're going to chain 2 again. And remember that this chain 2 does not count as a stitch. It is simply getting us to the right height to work our double crochets. For this round, we are going to place 2 double crochets in every single stitch around. So I'm just going to work 2 double crochets into this very first stitch, 2 double crochets into the next stitch, and again, I'm just going to repeat that all the way around the circle. Okay, so there's the conclusion of round 2. I have worked 2 double crochets in every single stitch across, or around, excuse me, totaling 20 double crochet stitches. Now keep in mind that this last stitch that you see here is the slip stitch from our previous round, so we are not going to work into that. Okay, so I'm just going to close off this round by slip stitching into the very first stitch, and I'm ready for round 3. Round 3 is super simple. We are going to chain 1, and then place 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So I'm just going to work a single crochet in this first stitch, and then a single crochet in the next stitch, and I'm going to repeat that all the way around. We're not increasing or decreasing in this round, keeping the same stitch count. We're just single crocheting all of the way around our circle. Okay, I finished round 3. I'm going to finish off again by slip stitching into the very first stitch. Now we're going to start decreasing so that we can close up the back of our scrubby. So we're going to chain 1, single crochet in the first stitch and in the next stitch. So we're single crocheting in the next 2 stitches, and then single crochet in the next 2 stitches together. So I'm going to insert my hook, pull up a loop, do that once more in the next stitch, and then I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops. And I'm going to repeat that all the way around. So a single crochet in the next 2 stitches. And then, oh, I lost that stitch there. Let's fix that. And then single crochet the next 2 stitches together. And again, single crochet in the next 2 stitches. Single crochet the next 2 stitches together. All the way around. Okay, I finished my first decrease round. I'm going to close it by slip stitching to the very first stitch. And now I'm ready for my next decrease round. We have 2 more left. I'm going to chain 1, work a single crochet in the first stitch, and then a single crochet the next 2 stitches together. And we're going to repeat that all the way around. Single crochet in the next stitch, and then single crochet the next 2 stitches together. Single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet the next 2 stitches together. And then 2 more times. Decrease, single crochet in the next stitch, and then single crochet those last 2 stitches together. And there we go. We are all ready to our very last round. Our scrubby is almost done. We're going to slip stitch to close off this round. And then for our very final round, we are going to chain 1 and just single crochet 2 together all the way around. So one thing that I like to do before I start this round is pull this strand one more time to, again, close up that hole even more. And then I'm just going to stick that strand down in there. There's no reason to weave that in. We're just going to leave it down inside of the scrubby. I'm going to single crochet 2 together all the way around. So single crochet the next 2 stitches together. I did chain 1, by the way. So chain 1 and then single crochet 2 together across. Single crochet the next 2 stitches together. And the next 2. Just like that. The next 2, and then once more after this. Those final 2. And there we go, perfect. Now I'm just going to slip stitch into this very last stitch here. Just like so. And now I am going to cut this strand and close off the hole that we've left at the top of our scrubby and do a little trick to make it lie flat. So I'm going to trim this tail. I'm leaving a good bit of tail, maybe about 6 or 8 inches or so. You just don't want to run out when you're doing this very last step. And then I'm going to set my crochet hook aside because I am done with that and thread my yarn needle. So to close up this hole, I'm going to flatten out my scrubby a little bit. And I'm going to go into the fronts of all of these stitches. So just catching this front loop here, and I'm going to pull my yarn through that loop. And then I'm going to do the same thing in every stitch across. And being careful not to split the yarn. I'm going to go in the next stitch and just work a couple more times here. Next stitch, and then last one. I'm going to pull that nice and tight. And then I like my scrubbies to lay really flat. So this next step is completely optional, but I find that it helps them just look a little bit better overall and just stay more secure. I'm going to go down in the center of that hole that we just closed and then come back through the top to the center of our magic ring. I'm going to pull my needle through, and then I'm going to go down in between 2 of the double crochet stitches and back through that hole. So that's what my needle looks like. It's going through 2 stitches, back up this hole. I'm going to pull it through and then pull it nice and tight. And what you're going to see is that strand of yarn completely disappears. You can't see it at all, but it already feels more secure. I'm going to do that same thing once more. Go back down the hole, through the magic ring hole, and pull it straight through. And then go up the opposite side of one of the, in between 2 double crochet stitches. Again, opposite side of your work. And then pull that through once more. And there we go. So this just makes it lay a little bit nicer, very flat, very secure. It's a completely optional step, but I personally like doing it. And then I am just going to pull that nice and tight and weave in my yarn on the back side here. So to do that, I'm just going to go through a few of the stitches, make it nice and secure. This project is going to get a ton of use, so you want to make sure to make it as secure as possible. So I'm going through a few stitches, and then I'm going to do that once more and pull that all the way through. Nice and tight. And then I will just trim that end. Looks like this is fraying a little bit. There we go. Trim that nice and close to the work, and then kind of shove that end down in there. And there we go. There's our finished dish scrubby. These make the perfect stocking stuffers for Christmas time. If you're giving somebody a gift or just adding it to something, it's such a good gift. It's so useful, so practical, so quick to make. Also a great idea for craft fairs and things like that. So I hope you enjoy this little scrubby. You found this tutorial helpful and enjoyable to follow along with, and I also hope that you love your finished object. Be sure that I have included all of the links to the materials that I used, the materials that you'll need, and all of the links to the pattern in the description box below, as well as links to my other social media platforms and pattern shops. So just be sure to check all of that out if you are so desire to do so. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on any future tutorials, and then click that notification bell right beside it so that you get a little alert every time I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy making. Bye!